The Gamasutra job board is the most diverse, active and established board of its kind for the video game industry. Here is just one of the many positions being advertised right now. Location: Reykjavik, Iceland. CCP Reykjavik are looking for a world-class production director to lead production efforts on a one-line, reporting into the executive producer. The ideal candidate will have a background running production efforts on large, multidisciplinary teams, experience overseeing the development of live games, and the passion for the motion genre. Your tasks, your profile, what we can offer you. Interested? Apply now. Whether you are just starting out, looking for something new, or just seeing what's out there, the Gamasutra job board is the place where game developers move ahead in their careers. Gamasutra's job board is the most diverse, most active, and most established board of its kind in the video game industry, serving companies of all sizes, from indie to AAA. Looking for a new job? Get started here. Are you a recruiter looking for talent? Post jobs here. Nintendo has put a dark room from the SWITCH's digital store after its developer revealed he had a code editor into the game right before it shipped. According to Eurogamer, the secret editor was accessed by plugging a keyboard into a switch running the game and hitting the tilde key, and allowed players to do some very basic coding in Robot. When revealing what he described as an Easter egg, shortly after launch, developer Amir Origin said in a Mastodon post that this effectively turns every consumer's back and Nintendo Switch into a robot machine. Nintendo's decision to put the game should not come as a surprise. However, Nintendo tends to be protective of its hardware, and extremely proactive when exploits pop up in games or software that potentially opens its platforms up to modification. Origin says that he slipped the feature at the very last minute with the assumption that plugging in the United States beat keyboard and pressing the key was not part of the test plan for Nintendo's third squad, and it seems like his assumption was correct. Now that the game has been pulled, however, he tells Eurogamer that the Easter egg was intended as a way to let kids and adults experiment with coding. He explains that the code editor itself is not as powerful as his initial claims made it seem, and that the extent of its use is creating shapes, detecting button presses, and playing sounds from a dark room. You cannot even render an image with a damn thing, Origin tells Eurogamer. So yes, if your app is composed completely of labels, squares, and lines, like a dark room, then it lets you build an app without having to perform any hacks. Apple has announced its own game subscription service, Apple Arcade, as a pay-for-access library of premium mobile games. During a live stream event today, Apple detailed what the subscription service has to offer and shared a look some of the developers it's already working with to get the platform off the ground. The service is still in more than 150 countries and regions, but Apple has yet to announce anything on pricing quite yet. Apple Arcade is rolling out as a tag in the App Store that will give subscribers access to their library right from that already installed app. From there, players can download any of the service's offerings, which will include 100 new and service exclusive games, to their devices. Anything downloaded is playable offline as well, and Apple says the titles featured on the service will not offer any sort of ads or microtransactions either. And, as an added bonus, all games on the service will be playable and share progression across iPhone, iPad, Mac, and Apple TV, doubling down on the data privacy theme of the entire presentation. Apple also notes that these apps cannot collect any data about you or track any information about how you play their games without players' consent. Privacy is one of several features Apple is leading with for this new service. Alongside ideas of use, expert curation, personalization, and family sharing features, a handful of developers are already working with Apple to bring their games to the service, including the likes of Konami, Platinum Games, Seagull, ANAPURNA Interactive, Gamasutra, Devolver Digital and several others. All in all, Apple says that the App Store sees 500 million weekly visitors, and the most popular category on the storefront is games. The App Store alone hosts 300,000. So while, according to Apple, that makes those the largest gaming platform in the world, it can be difficult for premium games to get the same attention as their free-to-play counterparts. In Apple's eyes, this makes joining up with the streaming service a potential way for developers to get the attention of those players. Newsbrief. Game Informer Australia has been closed down as a result of cost-cutting measures from its parent company App Games. The long-running magazine's editor David Milner tweeted the news earlier today, noting that the closure is the result of App Games' parent GameStop's unsuccessful and recently abandoned attempts at finding a buyer for the entire company. That search had been a months-long affair, but GameStop ended its plans to sell in January after being unable to offer financing terms that would be appealing to a prospective buyer. Moving forward, the company will instead publish the United States version of Game Informer in Australia. The magazine itself ran for 10 years and published 113 issues across that decade. Milner notes in his tweet that the magazine's readership was up 19% year-over-year, but recent ad sales, however, did not really reflect this. I guess this goes here too. Thanks for everything. It's been fun. Pic. Twitter. MVGKFG0CGK. Ex-head Phil Spencer discusses the responsibility the game industry has to create inclusive and safe communities. Head of X Phil Spencer says that there are two fundamental truths to video games. Gaming is for everyone, and gaming must promote and protect the safety of all. Those two statements set the stage for Spencer's recent post on the Microsoft blog, where he discusses the evolving place video games have in society. In that post, he walks through how the teams at Microsoft and X are endeavoring to thoughtfully and deliberately continue building a safe and inclusive gaming environment for everyone. Spencer breaks XBO Access guiding principles down into 3 key commitments: to be vigilant, proactive, and swift, to empower players to safeguard their experience the way they want, and to work across the game industry on safety measures. Part of those efforts is the creation of the new for area report on the X website that offers information on the tools X has to support inclusivity, accessibility, and safety, and the ongoing development of tools to help players reduce, filter, and develop a shared understanding of toxic experiences. Spencer details other actions the X team and Microsoft are taking to further those goals in his full post, and implores other members of the game community to take those same principles to heart and help foster an accessible and safe community. Set in 1968, Morpheus III takes place during one of the most turbulent years in American history, from the assassination of Joseph Martin Luther King, Jr., to growing outrage over the war in Vietnam. The country's fault lines were exposed and threatened to tear the United States apart. In this DD 2017 talk, Hangar 13, as William Helms, discusses how the team used real history to inform Morpheus' characters and overarching narrative, and the decisions that drove the inclusion of sensitive issues, such as the era's racial tensions. It was an insightful talk that's definitely still worth watching, so developers should not miss the opportunity to do so now that it's freely available on the official GD YouTube channel. In addition to this presentation, THEGDC Vault and its accompanying YouTube channel offers numerous other free videos, audio recordings,